And there's the bell for the live broadcast here with the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is Coach Arnie, and this is the Health, Love, Life, and Adventure Show. And I want to, again, thank CC Schatz for providing this opportunity for us to come together here every week or so. It's been a little bit of a break here, but we're good. And today's show, and again, the best way to get a hold of me right now is give me a call, or you can email me at arniefonseca@gmail.com. Would love to talk to you. And, of course, all the different social media places that I'm at, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Gosh, where else? I was doing some TikTok stuff. Most of you guys aren't hanging out there, but we're all good. So today I want to talk to you about something I ran into a few weeks ago. About turn into the storm. And it has to do with a phenomenal animal that I was listening to a podcast. And there's a whole bunch of things I'd love to do here with everybody, but we'll get to that point. I think I may do a whole show on it. And the animal was the American buffalo, the bison. You know, at one point, the bison was going to be our national symbol. You know, I think because I'm a big student of American history, at one point it was going to be the turkey for a lot of reasons that most people probably don't understand, because the wild turkey is nothing like the turkey you see running around getting ready to get its head cut off to be a Thanksgiving dinner. But and then it was going to be the buffalo. Ended up being the bald eagle, majestic eagle. But the more and more you read, and I've got a book in my queue about the American buffalo, but the more and more that you research and read about this amazing animal, it just blows you away. It just blows you away. The things that this thing can do, and I'm glad it's coming back now, not only as a source of food, but as a majestic animal in itself, what it can do. I mean, it can run and jump. It's just amazing. So if you're curious at all after this show, go do some homework on the American buffalo, the bison, and you'll know why it was going to be our national symbol. And honestly, for our Native American brothers and sisters, it is a very revered animal, very revered animal. So do some homework there. But so let's back up a second here. You know, as a coach and someone who's lived quite a while, I've just seen a lot of stuff. I've been through a lot of stuff. And part of what I want to do for you, as far as bringing value, is to share not only my experiences and, you know, telling stories, which I like to do, but about what value can come out of those stories and experiences. Because, look, if I can save anybody that's listening to this at least a step along the journey, because it's the journey. It's not about. I had a new client this week, a young lady. She's still in high school, actually, dealing with anxiety and depression, what a lot of young kids are doing. And after first apologizing to her for what we've done to this generation because of all this nonsense, I asked her, what does she want to accomplish? And as most young people, and probably most people in general, she said, I just want to be happy. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody what being happy means to them. But this I know. Being happy is not an event. Being happy is a journey. Because if it was an event, we'd all be depressed and anxious. Because it doesn't work that way. Things do work out. And things don't work out. You know, as the great heavyweight champion, not Muhammad Ali, but Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan A until they get punched in the face. And then what are you going to do? Or here's a great question. And if you're at a place you can write it down, write this down. If something horrific happens to you, or something happens to you anyway, look, here's the thing. A lot of people's horrific might be somebody else's like, but if something happens to you in your life, relationship, pain, somebody says something to you, somebody gives you a cross eye, or how about those families going through stuff in Texas? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I mean, from somebody who's gone through really horrific things in his life and in his family, I guess I've been always good at managing chaos, and that's not always a good thing. Not always a good thing. Because I don't want to be somebody like, I know people that they have to have chaos in order to feel like they're living. That's a dangerous place to be. But there is a way to manage that chaos. And it comes from that question, what are you going to do about it? Another, as we're on this journey here, a great book, if you're ever interested in reading a phenomenal book about what we're talking about today, is Viktor Frankl's A Man's Search for Meaning. Written by a guy that was in 3 different concentration camps in World War II. And he was a psychiatrist, so he developed a whole therapy called logotherapy based on what he saw, what he observed. And he could see in people's eyes the day that they were going to die. He knew by the look. Because it was not about what was happening to them. It was about the response or reaction of what was happening to them. Isn't that the storms that we're dealing with in life each and every day? I'm not sugarcoating this thing called life. Life is hard. But your response or your reaction to life doesn't have to be hard. So when I asked you the question, what are you going to do about it? I mean, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around and die? Viktor Frankl's book. Or are you going to respond in a way that you can be of value? Or are you going to be the person that runs around with their hair on fire? I mean, you get to choose. I mean, there's been people, I used to share a story about the bouncers and the splatterers. And I actually had somebody one time kind of challenge me a little bit. It made me think. I said, because some people, when stuff happens, they splatter like a glass ball you drop down. Bang! Pieces everywhere. Or some people bounce. They bounce when something bad happens. And they keep bouncing. Now, bouncing doesn't always solve the problem either, does it? Because you just keep bouncing along. But sometimes, and I compromise a little bit on this, if you splatter, try to keep the pieces close by so that you can bring them together, learn, and move forward. But you can also bounce too in control, like a basketball player bouncing the ball. If he's bouncing the ball all over the place, there's no control. But if he's bouncing in control, or a soccer player dribbling the ball, you've got a plan. So what are you going to do about whatever you're going through? Physical pain, psychological pain. Pain. We're in it every day. Every day. Somebody doesn't return your phone call. Pain. Someone ghosts you. Pain. Someone looks at you cross-eyed. Pain. You trip and fall. Pain. It's all pain, right? What are you going to do about it? Well, let me tell you a story about the American buffalo and tell you what they do about it. Here's this majestic animal that lives out in the Great Plains, beautiful open area, Montana, 150 years ago, Nebraska, all through there, Kansas, just millions and millions and millions of buffalo. And to this day, Colorado, to this day, when a storm comes in, I think most of the time storms come in from the east when they go to the west. I'm pretty sure. I'm not a weather guy, but I'm just kind of going on stuff I've been reading. But here comes the storm. So you have this majestic animal that sees this storm coming in, and they have to make a decision. And you know what the decision is? Do I run away from the storm? Because they're cousins, which are the cattle. Because there's huge herds of cattle were still on the American plains back then when the buffaloes were there. Ranchers were out there building herds of cattle, right? You've seen those movies. Well, cows do something different. They either lay down or they try to get away from the storm. They run. So if it's coming in from the east, they head west. They run away from the storm, or they lay down. Remember what I just talked about a few minutes ago? What are you going to do about it? Going to die? You're going to run away? What are you going to do? And that's what cows do. Does it always work out for the worst? No. Or we wouldn't have any cows. Does it always work out for the best? That depends. If you ask the cow, they might say it is or not. I don't know. But here's what the buffalo does, the bison does. And it might be because of the fact that they're wild creatures. They're not domesticated like their cousin, the cow. They're wild. They're free. They determined a long time ago that when they see that storm coming, they don't run away from it. They have instinct to say, turn and head right into that storm. You know why? Because they determined that when you head into the storm, it's going to last a lot shorter time. And for the most part, they are totally correct. Whether it's a snowstorm, rain, doesn't matter. They lean right into it and they walk right through it. And if that storm's moving pretty fast, they're not going to be in it very long. Now, if it's a slow-moving storm, it's not going to matter anyways. But it's still moving, isn't it? So they're walking through it. So regardless, they're spending less time in the storm than their compadres, the cow. Because the cow running away, that storm's immediately going to catch up and pound on them. If they're moving, if it's slow enough, it's going to just keep pounding on them until it passes them. Think about it. Something to think about, right? So what can we learn from that? What can we learn from our majestic buffalo, the bison? Well, don't run. But I'm going to say 4 things right now that most people just don't do. Don't run. Don't avoid it. Don't hope it goes away. Take it head on. Sadly, that's not what most people do. That's not what most people do. Think about it. I want to believe that I do that, but I teach this stuff. I learn from this. I watch people. I've been doing this. I've been dealing with people with amazing chronic, horrific pain for, gosh, going on 35 years now. I've seen some horrible things, from car accidents to anything you can imagine, neurological, you name it. You talk about pain, I've seen it. And I've dealt with my own pain too, physical and emotional. And I can't always tell you that I didn't run. But that is step number one. Don't run. And we're going to get to that in a minute too. Don't run. Don't avoid it. You know, when we avoid pain, all it does is build up, doesn't it? You know, but that's what we want to do. We want to just avoid it. Dance around it, right? Move and groove. But if we're not finding the cause, if we're not solving a problem, isn't that pain going to keep hitting us like that cow? It's going to keep hitting us until we either lay down or die. I mean, this is reality, right? It's reality. So it might be time to start thinking about being more like a majestic, free animal like the bison, or a domesticated, caged up, fenced in cow. Don't hope it goes away. How about that? How many people do that? Don't hope it goes away. Oh, I just hope this pain just goes away. I was listening to a story the other day. Guy goes to the doctor, gets the x-ray. The doctor comes back and says, well, this is the problem right here. This is what's causing the pain. And the guy goes, hey, doc, can you do me a favor? Can you take that pen or that marking thing or whatever you got there? Can you just kind of erase that area there on the x-ray? Don't we wish we could do that? But we can't. So you can't hope it goes away. All right, we are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back as we turn into the storm. All right, we are back. So we were talking about things we shouldn't do, and the last one we were talking about, or we're going to talk about, is take it head on. Take it head on. We're going to be like that bison and turn right into it. We're going to turn into that storm. But most people don't want to do that. We don't want to do it because it hurts. Like pulling that Band-Aid off. So we'll kind of inch it just a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Bam! Take it head on. And that's scary. It's real scary. I know. It's not fun to have that tough conversation. I was with a client 3 weeks ago, and we talked about the conversation he needed to have with somebody. And he's amazing because he's not the kind of guy that takes things on head on. He's the kind of guy that does everything I just talked about not doing. And we went into his office, and he didn't hesitate. I think probably because it was fresh in his mind. And he took it head on, and man, it was rough. It was rough, but got the job done. Now, it's like there's a great book out there called Traction. And one of the things, when it comes to, and this really goes with anything, I call it my 40 hours of pain, about a day and a half of pain that you're going to go through in just about anything. Now, some people will try to hold me to that and go, Coach, it's lasted longer than that. But you know why? Because you're dwelling on it. You're thinking about it. It's going to hurt. Things that we do in life, whether it's getting fired from a job or quitting a job or having a breakup in a relationship or whatever you're going to do in life, it's going to hurt. Golly. Like one of the things hopefully I'm going to be teaching this young lady is about the happiness journey. Hey, if I'm driving my car from Arizona to New York, there's going to be times I'm going to be driving at night. I'm not going to see anything. I might get a flat tire. I might stay in a hotel that's terrible. I might go to a restaurant that has crappy food. Gosh, But when I get to New York, I'm going to go, wow, I'm in New York. I'm in the Big Apple. I'm having a great time. Maybe a year later, I'll go, remember that lousy restaurant we were at? That was terrible. And you laugh about it. Remember that flat tire? Man, that was scary. But you laugh about it. Because it's the journey to get there. Because if each event in your life is the measuring stick, you're never going to be happy. It's impossible. Unless you're a robot. It's just impossible. It doesn't work that way. All right, so let's look a little deeper here now. Okay, because we already know that most people do the opposite of what we just talked about. And what happens is that the problem gets bigger, more scary. The longer you put it off, we've all done it. The longer you put that conversation off, the longer you make the decision, whatever it is, it gets bigger and scarier. We procrastinate our challenges into something much bigger. Yeah. By putting it off, by burying it, whether you bury it inside here or you bury it somewhere else, it just gets worse. I've never seen it get better. I really haven't. Like that's what the whole forgiveness thing's about. You can sit here and dwell on it all day long. But until you finally do something about it, forgive the person, because that's for you, and move on, it's not going to matter. Until you address that pain and be proactive about it, whether it's through some a medical type situation, or be proactive physically or nutritionally or whatever you need to do. Movement creates momentum, which creates progress, which creates decrease in pain every time. You want to feel better? Stand up and move. Move your arms. You can change your state in a matter of seconds. But if you sit here and dwell, oh man, I just don't, it's not, you're going to hurt. You're going to hurt. Fact, you will hurt because you're dwelling on it and you're making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why sometimes just talking about it is movement, because you can kind of talk your way into what you should be doing, or talking to a friend or a partner or somebody that can be empathetic and understanding and give you some advice, because it might not be too emotional for them. Might be the way to get going here. I like to use the analogy of the tiger in the jungle. Think for a second. I mean, we all know what a tiger is. Amazing animal. And put yourself in a situation where you might be in the jungle. You're in India somewhere where they have lots of tigers. And here you are facing the tiger in the jungle. And there it is. You against the tiger. You got nothing except you. What are you going to do? Well, I got news for everybody. They're going to go back to what we just talked about, and they're going to run. Okay? They're going to avoid it if they can. Good luck, because 1, you can't outrun a tiger. 2, you can't even avoid a tiger, because if you try to climb a tree, they're better at that than you are. If you're trying to swim across the stream or the river or wherever you're at, they're better at that too. So you can't avoid it either. And then you can't just sit there and go, I hope this guy just goes away and just leaves me alone. Crying about it is not going to take care of it. Okay? But taking it head on might not be smart either, because might not be a great idea to run at the tiger. So what you do is you stand your ground. Okay, I'm going to give you a little modification about you're going to turn into the tiger, which is the storm, and you're going to lean in, and you're going to take those beady eyes of yours, and you're going to stare right in the tiger's eyes. And you're going, Coach, what are you talking about? That sounds like pure insanity. Pretty much. But you know what it's going to do? It's going to put the fear into the tiger. Now the tiger has to make a decision. If the tiger is hungry, the tiger will eat you. Unless there's something better around, because you're not its normal food. But if the tiger is hungry, he's going to eat you. If you run, all you're going to do is trigger the tiger's natural instincts to chase. You ever been around a cat? Take a laser and move it around, or roll a little goofy toy. Cats are like, they're weird. Worse than a dog. Tiger, same thing. It'll chase you. It'll just kill you just because. So you lean in, you stare at the tiger. Now you made the tiger have to make the choice. Well, what's the choice, Coach? The choice is to eat me or walk away. And there's a good chance the tiger will just walk away, because they don't want to mess with you unless they're hungry, and they're going to walk away, and you're going to slowly get your you-know-what out of there. That's called turning into the storm. And it works. It works. That's what the buffalo does. The buffalo just turns and steps, and keeps stepping. And before you know it, it's over. Less time in the storm. Not only face your fear, turn into your fear and step into it. Don't go running willy-nilly into the storm. That's stupid. Have a plan. The bison has a plan. Okay? It's just, at some point, look, everybody, at some point, you're going to have to start making some choices here in your life when it comes to these storms that are going to come up all the time. They just do. I call them 4 life choices. Four. Their choices or their experiences. A level 1 experience is something that feels good. It's good for you. It serves the greater. It's good for you. It serves it's good for others. Excuse me, and serves the greater good. Those are pretty cool, right? Anybody have any problem with that stuff? That's like, whoa. That's called being happy every day, right? Everything's good for me, feels good. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves me, and we're all good. Happy days are here again. Level 1. That's not exactly a storm, right? All right. Level 2. It doesn't feel good. It could even be doesn't taste good because it could be a food, but it doesn't feel good. But here's the big but. It's good for you. And it's good for other people. And it serves the overall good. I like to call that my eat your broccoli. For some people, they don't like broccoli, but they know it's good for them. And it's good for others because if you're healthy, life is good, right? And it serves a greater good because if you're healthy, it doesn't cost anybody. You're not having to see the doctor and you're not missing your work. And so it works. It just tastes bad for some people. It could be anything else like that. It could be any other experience you're having in your life. You don't want to do it, but you do it. A lot of people don't like getting up early in the morning. I happen to love it. Weird as that sounds. But some people, they look at what I do and they go, you are crazy. Well, I've learned something about a level 2 experience that doesn't feel good. I've learned how to, and I'm still learn how to turn that level 2 experience into a level 1 experience that feels good. Because see, the key to life is making hard choices. Hard choices now make for an easy life. Easy choices, which we're going to get to in a minute here, make for a hard life. So making those hard choices early and often in your life is going to make for an easier life. Putting it off makes for a hard life. It's just the way it is, guys. It's never going to change. But at the same time, being able to take those hard choices, make them feel good. I know that if I get up early and do my morning routine and do everything, my meditating, my prayer work, everything that I do, journaling, that the rest of my day is easier. But if I get up late or don't do, and I think about it, I'm telling you, I'm not a complete robot. I think about, man, I thought about this morning, actually. That's why I'm talking about it. I said, if I slept in another 45 minutes, I could have got up and still had time to get to where I was going to go. And I go, yeah, but then I was going to have to come home and figure out a time where I was going to find time to do my meditation, my journal, my praying, all the things that I do in the morning. And I said, not a good idea. But that's me. I've figured out a way to turn a level 2 experience into a level 1 because I know that the rest of my day is going to feel great because I got that done. And that's what I want you to learn how to do, and take those hard choices and make them feel good. It's going to take some practice, but you can do it. Level 3 is it feels good, but it's not good for you. It's not good for others, and it doesn't serve the greater good. And that's the crap that we do each and every day, and we're all guilty of it. Might be eating that food that we love, but we know it's not good for us. It doesn't even make us feel good. It makes us feel terrible after a while. And we, you've been in those groups. Oh man, I wish I would. It was so good, but I wish I wouldn't eat and all that. I'm just feeling it. I know. And the next day you're like, oh man, I can't believe it. Got up. I was all swole up today. Want. But it was sure easy to make that simple decision to eat the crap, right? Or to sleep in and not go for the walk and then be mad at yourself. I was talking to someone earlier today. I couldn't get my butt out of bed. And then it started raining. And so if it eases up later today, they were somewhere else. I'll go for a walk. But guess what? If they would have got up when they were supposed to, they would have got their walk in. And they didn't. And now guess what they're doing the rest of their day? Playing with their head. I hope it stops raining. I want to go for a walk. Look at the wasted time and energy playing that game in your head. All because they made what I call a level 3 experience. Easy choice, hard life. Pain. Didn't go to therapy today. Didn't go to the gym. Couldn't get up. Man, I wish my knee would stop hurting. Because they didn't do anything about it. Because they wanted to sleep in. Pain. So let's take it down one more notch. Level 4. It doesn't even feel good. It's not good for you. It's not good for others. And it doesn't serve the greater good. You're going, Coach, who the heck is doing that kind of stuff? People that are stuck. People that are addicted. You ever known an addict that didn't know that it wasn't good for him? Heck, they joke about it. I know I shouldn't be doing this. But I can't stop myself. I know I shouldn't be eating this doggone stuff. Doesn't even taste good. But I'm doing it anyways. Because I want to. No big. It's not going to matter. Talked to a guy last week, diabetic, has all these problems. Great guy. Love him to death. He's got a great son. And he goes, Arnie, I really appreciate how hard you work here. He'd watch me work out and stuff. And he goes, but I can't do what you do. And I didn't even comment. I was just listening because I just love him. I can't do what you do. I'm good just being me, which is fine. And we've tried to help him because he's got wounds on his feet from diabetes. He's got to wear a monitor for diabetes. He's got to go to the doctor for diabetes. He's got to take medicine all day long for diabetes. And he doesn't sleep well for other things. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh. And you know what's worse than that? I'm 10 years older than he is. And probably 10 years older. And I look 10 years younger. It has nothing to do with him as a man. He's a great man, great father. But he's making his life hard because he's not willing to make hard choices. Choices are hard. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat any of this stuff, guys. They're hard. So here's the key. Searching for level 3 choices makes our lives painful. Yeah. How many of you know people that are constantly on the lookout for things that are easy? There's a guy, he wrote a book called Quit Looking for the Elevator. something like that. Searching for the elevator. Makes sense. Searching for the elevator instead of just taking the stairs. You might spend 5 minutes looking for the elevator when the stairs. We don't want to take the stairs. That's a hard choice. Oh, man. I'd rather walk around looking for the elevator instead of just going straight up the stairs. So we're out there. All of us do this. There's not a one of us that's innocent. We're all searching for those level 3 choices, the ones that feel good. But down the road, they're not good for anybody. They're not good for you. They're not good for your family. They're not good for your community. They're not good for anybody. But we still do them anyways, all day long. So the thought I want to leave you here as we start to finish up here is I want you to be aware. I want you to be aware that those hard choices in life, those storms that all of us are going to face, as Mike Tyson would say, they're going to hit you right in the face. And if you can just be like that bison, that buffalo, and just turn and take that shot in the face and know in your heart that you're just going to keep moving because it's going to be over soon and you're going to learn from it. And the question that I asked you earlier, what are you going to do about it? Well, what you're going to do about it is learn from it. So the next time it pops up, you're not going to do the same stupid thing. You're going to be better because you're going to learn something from it. And every time there's a new storm in your life, you're going to do the same doggone thing. You're going to step into it, lean into it, walk through it, and learn from it. That's going to be your pattern. So at the end of the day, at the end of your life, you're going to have this amazing journey that you're going to be able to look back and go, wow, that was crazy. But look where I'm at. That's all I want you to say. Look where I'm at. What did you accomplish? What did you finish? What did you do? Nobody I know that has lived a clean life that did nothing at the end of it said, wow, look at me. What a great life. Now, some people might say, look at me. I did all these great things. I got some great breaks. Great. It worked out. That's fine. But most people are going to say, look what I accomplished because I had to overcome this, and that. And you're going to just feel so much better about it. And because you should. All right, guys. This is Coach Arnie. I love you guys. Thank you. If this made sense to you, share it. Share it with other people. And would love to talk to you about anything that you're going through. And we'll talk to you later. Next time. I'm out.